In the last 30 years, you've lived your life in the fringes of politics, even though...
Yeah, that's a brilliant one. I mean, not...
On the fringes.
Yes, fringes. I must tell you that whoever says that he does not have any interest in political development should be considered a dead person. The only thing that political decisions do not affect in life is the air we breathe. They take decisions that will determine the purchasing power of your naira. So everybody must be interested. So as far as I was concerned, I believe that I have to be interested in the welfare of my people and welfare and progress of Nigeria. Nigeria, yes. But first and foremost, before you can be a good Nigerian, you must be a good Yoruba man. That there is no debating that. And in fact, before we can have a good united Nigeria, everybody wherever is born, is come from, must first be a good citizen of his local environment. Then we all sit down now, the Igbos, the Kanuris, the this, the that, to now agree on what we think will be in the collective interest, corporate interest of all of us, which will not sideline the culture, the history, the beliefs of my own people and your own people from wherever you come. We will agree that we are going to cede social powers to a central government. The others, majority will be held by each ethnic group. That is what is called federalism. I'm sure you know political history of America more than me. 1776, you know, 13 colonies when they came together, Jefferson, all of them, and agreed on federalism. So it is necessary. I want to be a good Nigerian. There are a lot of advantages in being together. But if it's going to be at the expense of my people, then I will have to think again. I will not sacrifice the welfare of my own people on the altar of championing a unity that is very elusive. You have been shouting about this unity. People come to deceive us and nothing happens. My people are being slaughtered, they are being maimed, they are being raped, they are being killed. Should I keep quiet? No, I will not.
So what is actually the obstacle Nigeria is facing in realizing true federalism?
It's a big shame. I think it is, you will be amazed, it's a tiny political leadership. Very tiny. They are not up to 5% of the population. Those who are holding us in bondage now. They are not. I tried to do the calculation. They are not up to that. But they have, I always say that twin evils bedevil this country. And I stand on it till I pass on. Military intervention and the oil boom, which I want to describe as oil doom. Those are the two evils that afflicted this country. And we are still suffering it today. We had a fantastic First Republic, pre-independence. I'm sure you must have read it in our history, but it's a shame. We are told they don't teach history anymore now. That's a big shame. Pre-colonial, we had about 2-3 constitutional conferences in the United Kingdom, preparatory to independence. Ahmadu Bello walked out of the conference. He said he didn't believe in Nigeria, that we should unite Nigeria. It was Chief Awolowo who followed him to persuade him that everybody will run his own affairs. That we will sit down to just give some few powers to Lagos. Lagos was the capital then. It took Chief Awolowo some time before he could bring him back. So you could see in the First Republic, there was nothing like federal revenue allocation distribution. No. The formula was simple. Where the resources are got, we hold 50%. Then only 20% of whatever money you make in your region will go to the federal government. Then 20%, I think it's 20 or 25%, we go to, what do they call it, distribution to the states. Because some states are more blessed than the other. But we still share there, because it's not that we will not. That was what we had. So that was why Western region was able to develop. And all of us seated here are still benefiting from the emphasis of Chief Obafemi Awolowo on education, the mind liberator. It is education that liberates the mind. Nothing else. As at that time, Chief Awolowo was interested, spending close to 50% of the revenue of Western region on education. His counterpart in the north, Ahmadu Bello, was interested in drafting secondary school students to military academy because, for whatever reason, he thought political power would reside in the military. And that's why you had this controversy about Buhari's certificate. He was one of those drafted. A number of them were drafted from secondary school straight to military. But Chief Awolowo believed more in education. In our own time, when we were from 6th in the secondary school final year, a lot of companies will come, military and so on. When the soldiers come to counsel us to come to military, you won't find more than 2 students there. And now, as far as we are concerned, military, as at that time, was for the dregs. So, but today, I have no regrets, no apology to repeat it. Other parts of Nigeria cannot catch up with us. I never see them catching up with us. Not to say 50, 100 years, no. Because of the head start that free education had given us at that time. Action Group government was recognized for free education. And that was why we embraced Awolowo in Ekiti much more than Ikenne in his hometown. We were more loyal. I stand to be challenged and corrected to Action Group cause than Ikenne. Because of education, our people cherished education so much. So that was the history. So for me, the tiny political leadership that is holding us down for a number of reasons. One, when the military interrupted the, of course, what do we call it now? They invalidated the constitution. There was no constitution. They went away in 79. They came back in 83. They had tasted political power and affluence. So, what's his name now? I don't know. Abubakar just gathered about 20 people under the leadership of my friend, Professor Yadudu, to write the 1999 Constitution, to prepare grounds for perpetuation of military in political gap. And we are still on that. Buhari is general. You might say Jonathan was not a military man. David Mark, a military general, was the head of the Senate. So we had continually been under military in one form or the other. And that was why they gave us this horrible constitution, where you collect VAT, customs duties, everything and so on from the states. You take them to Abuja. Then the state commissioner of finance will go with capping begging bowl to Abuja to go and take pittance. Pittance. Where is the justice there? Where is the justice? I'm convinced it cannot, this, as we are going, it cannot work. It cannot work. Something must give.
But the objection to the manner of governance as against true federalism has been on for a long time now.
Yeah.
For when you say you don't think we can continue to go on this way, so how soon do you see this changing?
In fact, we are almost there. We are almost getting the Nigeria we want. I'm sure you'll be amazed. Some of your colleagues have asked me why. I will ask you a question. Where is the most, which part of the country is the most challenged today, security-wise? Where?
North.
These are the people, it is the, who is the president of this country? in Northern
In Northern.
A monarch was kidnapped a few years ago in Katsina, the home state of the present president. In his home state, about 300 or how many hundred students of the secondary school were abducted. So, what has happened is this. I need to explain before you, so that you can grasp it. North believed in feudalism. In other words, if you are born poor, you should die poor. If you are born noble, you should die in nobility. That was one of the quarrels Sardauna Bello picked against Awolowo. That it was Awolowo that brought him out of the Premier's Lodge to go campaigning, because Awolowo was campaigning everywhere with his helicopter. And that we wanted to make everybody educated. Why? That who would be in their farms and so on. North. So for me, the North itself is revolting against this system now. They are Majiris and co. Look at Kanu. My fear, may God forbid, is that I don't see this administration successfully managing transition to 2023 if something is not done quickly to put Nigeria on the path of progress. Where do you have all the negative indices of life in this country now? If you, let me refresh your memory. Negative indices of life, poverty rate. Where do you have the most poor people? It's clear. You shouldn't lose. It's the North. Where do you have the Amajeris?
North.
The North. Where do you have beggars and so on? Uncle Sakasis in medicine? In the North. Where do you have the highest number of Lassa fever? Is the North. All negative indices of life reside there now. And because of the globalization, what do I mean globalization? GSM. Where you can see what goes on in Tunisia, Arab Spring and so on. That was what gave back to Boko Haram. Yes, Arab Spring. When a young man came out of university, no job, and they started selling things on the highway, and they came against saying he was violating the law, they took his goods, and he committed suicide, set himself ablaze. That was the cause of Arab Spring. So they are saying it. And in 2014, we were at the national conference in Abuja. That was when the Chibok girls were kidnapped. And our chairman at the conference allowed us a few minutes to speak on it. And I spoke. And I said what we were witnessing in that kidnap was the clash of feudalism, or globalization against feudalism. Globalization now, the whole world is in your phone there. It's in everybody's phone. So you can't keep some people down forever and believe they will be there forever. You may not know this. There are a number of National Assembly people who cannot go to their constituency, their home base, without going with lorry loads of armed policemen. You can go and check this up. So this is why I'm appealing to all of us, especially Yoruba youths. Yes, you are rightly agitated. You have every reason to be. But Nigeria is better as a country. And those who believe they can hold us in bondage forever, it is clear now that you cannot. There is hardly a day you pick up your newspaper that you don't see kidnapping or something all over. It is the advent of this current administration in 2015 that brought insecurity to the highest level in other parts of this country. It was limited to Northeast, North Central, and we had sprinkles of it in Abuja, bomb explosion. But when this administration came into power, perhaps the Fulanis believed that this was one of them there now, then they had the effrontery. And the federal government, in my humble opinion, has not done enough to contain them, curtail them, arrest them. They have not at all. It appears as if they've turned a deaf ear to our cries and complaints here. And our people are being killed, are being maimed, being kidnapped regularly. So the federal government is not doing enough.
Would you describe Nigeria as tense currently?
Very tense. There's no doubt about that. When to travel 50 kilometers, you are anxious. 40 kilometers, your heart is in your mouth. You are not sure you will get there. Kidnappers are everywhere and so on. And people keep paying lip service to unity of Nigeria at our own expense here. I have no doubt in my mind. May God spare all of us. In the next couple of years, we have the true Federal Republic of Nigeria. I can't see. Well, let's wait and pray that we have peaceful 2023 elections.
People of the Fountain.